All right, so try to get through this pretty quickly, but I wouldn't normally even legitimize something like this, but it's kind of gotten out there, and I feel like at this point, if we don't say something, then maybe some people could assume that what's being said is true or correct, and I really hate even wading into this type of drama. Um, I'm 46. I'm an adult, and I started this business 20 years ago so that we could produce great quality, high performance parts. And you know, elementary school drama wasn't necessarily part of the plan, but that's the situation we're in. So
Yet
let's
here we
get into
are.
it. Yep. So if you haven't heard, again, I hate to even like
Yeah.
the possibility of anyone even finding out about this, but we're going to talk about it. So we released two new products. These parts right here. These are billet rear main seals for 180 FSI and newer TFSI and TSI cars. They fit a ton of different vehicles. I mean, this one fits all 180s, older i5s. Pretty much every Volkswagen going back to the 70s can pretty much use this. But check out our application list on our website. Um, the purpose of this product is a flange that holds the older style, uh, Viton seal that's spring loaded. Newer seals have like, I don't know if you've ever seen one, but
Yeah,
it's a
it's
molded Teflon lip, and it's not rubber, it's Teflon, and the molded shape has a little bit of spring to it. So when you press this on over the crankshaft, it forms a seal, and the Teflon is self lubricating. The issue is it's not spring loaded, and so over time that Teflon seal can relax, and inevitably these all leak. Sooner than the older style seal. So I think it was like 5 years ago. Iabed Industries came out with a product, which was probably the first in our industry, I believe it was, with a billet housing that held this older style rear main seal with the spring loading. Again, this was a long time ago, and so we've been getting asked about doing this part for years, and we never did. And finally had some conversations with many of our dealers who basically expressed a desire for us to do it because they weren't happy with the current solution. And so we said, okay, we're here to serve our customers and our dealers, and we're an engineering company. And so we produced um, competing parts to what INA had on the market. Um, so INA had a design patent on this version. Um, we did some research. We have a patent attorney, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But we went ahead and produced our part based off the OEM part. So you can see the similarity. Okay. And it'll probably shock no one that the INA part is the same shape as the OEM one. Okay. So INA did a ornamental or design patent on the factory part, which Nate, can you put that up?
yeah.
And anyways, we produced the part and we released it on Thursday. Actually, don't put it up quite yet.
Okay.
I'll get into it in a minute. To be honest, it's our most popular product release ever. I think we sold out almost immediately, and by Friday afternoon. Now we've kept some in stock. So if you go on our website and you'd like to order this, if you order one, it will ship. Some of our dealers ordered like 60 or 100 units, and we've just shipped smaller quantities to them so we can keep product on the shelf for individual customers as well, because we want to make sure everyone can have access to this. We have a lot more of them coming and being made, so in a month or so, there will be plenty of these, and there'll be no. Just the demand was so much bigger than we anticipated, and I think the reason our launch has been so successful is because some other people have been advertising this for us.
Yeah.
So
No,
out of
this
the
is bad
blue,
news
for some reason, Hank Irose from Irose Motorsport created a post on his personal Facebook page accusing us of copying INA engineering and being greedy and dishonest and violating his patent. he claims that post has been shared thousands of times, and over 250,000 people or something have seen it. He promoted this post so enthusiastically that something happened, and Facebook actually, you know, put him on a timeout. I don't know exactly what happened, but so Hank was no longer able to post about this at some point on Friday, and has been using a proxy named Adam Blender to post messages from Facebook jail to the public. So, I mean, the whole thing's kind of ridiculous, but here we are. So, I'd like to just kind of go point by point and address some of the things that are being said. Some people are accusing us of copying. Some people are accused, which is false. Some people are accusing us of violating patents, which is false. And some people are accusing us of being greedy, which is also completely false. But let me explain. So, all right, first off, this is a very simple part. This is a rear main seal. Okay, it forms a light seal around the end of the crankshaft so that oil from inside the crankcase cannot leak into the transmission housing. If you go on Amazon right now and you put in like any GTI, there's over 20 different options on Amazon. This is the place where you can buy like hand lotion and new patio furniture. They offer over this Amazon offers 20 different options for rear main seals. Depending on application, at least 10. And so this is not an innovative, crazy part. And what INA did is they took a factory rear main seal and housed it in a billet housing. We could have easily cast this if we wanted to. These are low volume parts, and so there's really no reason for us to cast them. And we can do billet just as nice, and frankly, it's really cool and sexy. I don't think INA or IABED invented billet parts. So I just want to establish that it's a very simple part. This is not innovation, although it's a novel idea and it's great. Clearly, a lot of people need this part, and I'm not discounting the value of it. We made it for a reason, but it's not like we stole, some magical engineering effort that was 10 years. This part literally takes an hour or two to reverse engineer from the factory part. It's incredibly simple part. So again, we did not copy the IABED part. We created our version off the OEM part. So did IABED. So we both did the same thing. We did it 5 years later. He arguably had a 5-year head start. And my understanding is he's done very well with it, which is probably why he's so upset, because now he has some competition. So there's been the accusation that the IABED part is patented. So if you want to throw up. So the top part is the IABED part.
Yeah, I may move this around a little bit, guys, just so I can get the cropping right with Instagram. It's kind of...
And the bottom part is our part. Now here, pause that.
You didn't tell me you want to pause it.
Oh, sorry. Oh, they're just like, it's like a slideshow?
Slideshow.
Okay. Yeah, let's try to do one picture at a time.
You guys can...
So IABED does have a design patent or an ornamental patent. It's U.S. patent D761325S. You can look it up if you want. It's on the screen, but you probably can't see this. But ornamental patents are a patent on lines that define the shape of the part. So it's not even the part itself. So you take different views of the part and you draw lines very specifically that visually dictate what the part looks like. The ornamental or design patents limits anyone else from creating an exact copy or replica of that part. Ornamental patents, design patents are really cheap. You could probably go on LegalZoom and do one for $1,000.
Which image do you want up?
Let's see. Just go to the first one where where we're comparing the two parts.
Okay.
No, like our part to the IABED part. There you go.
Great.
So ornamental patents don't really hold water. You just have to change one little thing, just one little visual thing, and the patent no longer applies. I mean, it literally prevents someone from doing an exact copy.
Yeah, I think the intent is, as we've been explained, is like, if you can hold up two of the parts, nobody can see me right now because I'm behind a picture. You can hold up two of the parts side by side, and you have a difficult time distinguishing between the two parts. That's what that patent is
Hmm.
to cover. So you can't sell one as another.
Yeah. So you can clearly see that the top part is iabed, the bottom part is ours. There is, other than the shape dictated by the factory, there's really no other similarity. And there's a hole that's the same exact size in the middle, which fits a very specific rear main seal product. So we did not copy iabed. We based our design off the factory OEM part. We did enter the same exact product application that iabed has been operating with for years, and there's nothing
It's what they
illegal
said. I
or
mean,
wrong with that. IBOC and H&R both make springs. BBS and HRE both make wheels. We also make springs. We also make wheels. Hank Iros hasn't gone and posted about that. So this happens to be a rear main seal. There are dozens and dozens of options available on the market. We did not copy. Why don't you move to the next one? So there's another issue, and so this is our part on the bottom, and that's the design patent. So that's what iabed has patented, those lines, and you can see none of the lines on our flange match exactly with that flange.
and we know it's esoteric and silly to talk about lines and whatnot, but this is literally
No, that's what
this is what a design
the
patent
patent
does.
is, not a utility patent. So this iabed is not protected, and frankly, I don't think anyone could get a utility patent on this. There would be no substance in getting a patent. But that's what the patent is. It's those lines. And unless ours lines match exactly that, it's not a violation. So here's the problem for iabed, and I haven't heard Hank talk about this. He skipped this part.
Yeah.
So iabed patented the top thing, but they made the bottom thing. So their part is not the same as their patent. So actually, if we wanted to, we could copy that. And frankly, everyone else out there, if you'd like, you can copy the iabed part exactly, and it will not violate his patent. You notice that hole in the bottom on the design patent? It's not connected. And so there's a bridge that goes from that hole to the seal. Arguably, iabed put it there to reinforce or strengthen because the flange is so thin. The only strength in this flange is in those ribs that go out to the holes. Unlike ours, which is heavily ribbed, our part is much more rigid, and we made this improvement, you could call it an innovation, on purpose, because we did see how flexible and the iabed part lacks a lot of integrity. But he added that, so his part doesn't even match his patents. So when I originally consulted with our patent attorney, I said, is there any issue? And I showed him our part, and we compared it to his design patents. The attorney came back and said, this isn't even a valid patent. His part doesn't even match it. You could actually copy his part if you want, which we would never do. We do not copy other people's parts. There would be no reason. We spent a couple days in engineering, drawing this up, machining prototypes, test fitting it, validating it, and we had it manufactured. This is not a complicated part to do. So that's another big problem with this whole situation.
You see the question at the top.
No.
Scroll down.
Yes, Hank, you can copy any of our work if you want to. Any of our products. You want to do inserts? Knock yourself out. It's a free market. We will compete with you. I've got no issue with it. I'm not the one who wants to limit competition. You do. So, speaking of competition, this is the United States of America. It's a free market. Any company, any manufacturer has the right and frankly the obligation to bring products to market. That's how our economy works. Competition breeds innovation. Tesla doesn't tell Audi to not to make electric cars. Tesla actually sharing their IP and helping other companies do it. This market is free, and it sounds like Hank is asking for some kind of contrived monopoly protection for businesses, and I don't believe in that. I believe in the free market. I believe in opportunity for everyone. Lots of our products have been copied and knocked off, like blatantly, like literally exact replicas of our products. But almost everything that we bring to market and release, some other company comes out with. Do I like it? No, I don't have to like it. I could be pissed off about it. Do I go blast on Facebook about it? Heck no. I think that's really unprofessional. So this is a free market. We believe in competition. We welcome it. If Iroh's, and it's not even clear why. Like,
and
why is Iroh's defending
yeah, and to be
INA?
clear,
It's
we
none of his
didn't
business.
copy it. It's
It's not
literally
even
it's
a
a
copy.
2D part
But Hank said we did.
with like
Hank's
a
post
dozen
says we
things in it.
copied it.
Yeah.
It's a very, very specific wording. So yes, we believe in competition. We believe in the free market. It sounds like you want to limit it. You want to limit customer choices. Um, we're not interested in that. So if someone else can come out with a product and improve it, great. For example, we were the first to bring, billet high performance motor mounts for the Dazzle market, and Hank bought a bunch of them and sold them. But BFI came out with some. I didn't see Hank going out and saying you copied 034. And did we like it that BFI released mounts? No. Do we still sell a ton of ours? Yes. Am I actually glad that customers have more choices? Sure. I'm an American. I believe in freedom and competition. I have a business degree. I studied the economics. I know how it's supposed to work. And free market competition is what makes this country so great. And that's not politics. I'm not like a super conservative Trumper or anything, but even I think liberals and Democrats believe in free market competition. It's not politics. It's just how this country works.
And I mean, on that note, who gets to decide which product the market
Well,
obtains?
apparently Hank
Who's the
decides.
overseer of what product is the one that lives?
Hank gets to tell the whole market and the customers, you can't buy that. You shouldn't buy that. You can't have competition. I mean, that's bullshit. Sorry.
Yeah.
I would never say that to customers. I have in the past emailed some of our dealers and said, "Hey, I see you're carrying the competitor product, which is essentially a knockoff of ours. Would you consider supporting ours?" But I would never say you can't sell that or you shouldn't or anything like that. And again, I don't have to like it, but what I need to do is compete and move forward and bring more new products to market. That's what we do. So we've been accused of being greedy.
Yeah, you want to transition to something
Yeah, go to
else?
the next one.
What we got?
So that's
the
the
actual
patents.
patent
Yeah.
number.
Again, we're not shying away from the patents. There's literally nothing IABED can do.
And
They have no
it's not
legal
like we had to go
case.
digging for this. He stamps the number all over his
Yeah.
parts, which don't match the patent.
Right.
Um,
So yeah, you can take the photos down.
yeah.
So we've been accused of being greedy, apparently by investing our engineering resources in a new product and bringing it to market that has actually improvements over the existing part. We're greedy. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not greedy. It kind of sounds like Hank is a little greedy because he doesn't want competition. He wants all the opportunity for himself, but I think that's greedy. I think what isn't greedy is being a tuning company. I started this company, 20 years ago almost. And I started it to bring products to market, great quality, high performance products. That's what we do. I mean, you wouldn't ask a duck to stop quacking because another duck quacked. This is what we do. We're a tuning company. We see what's on the market. And in some cases, we're the first ones to do it. In other cases, we're entering just like everyone else. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you
you
can
know,
always expect the
this isn't
first
about
person
greed.
to make any product to fit a niche is going to be the only person allowed to sell that product. I mean,
No.
I'm
I
pretty
mean, that's
sure there's
insane.
more than one intercooler option on the market for any given car.
Apparently not.
More than one, downpipe, more than one spring
Yeah.
kit, more than one, the list doesn't end. It shouldn't.
The market feeds and breeds off of competitive products and improvements. If the first and only thing that was released ended up being the only thing, then the innovation Hank talks so much about would be quenched. And that's what he's saying when he says, "Don't release new products, don't compete." That's quelling innovation, and that hurts the customers. That hurts the industry. We're all here because there's competition and because we've been pushed to be better by our competitors. This will be really interesting to watch to see if Iabed makes any changes to his product. I suspect he will because we've added features and functionality to our part that he doesn't have, and he will either have to step it up and create a better product, or he'll lose business. But that's literally how he won't be able to sue us or stop us from doing this. His options will be to have an outdated product or to update. And if he does, it will be because of our effort. And we've been pushed many times to be better as well.
This is like Senna not going for the gap. I don't know about that, but I like the analogy.
I don't know. Can you imagine like there was no competition? I mean, racing. Yeah.
All right.
So it's not about greed. I'm an entrepreneur. I started this business. We now have 50 employees. We have a responsibility to utilize our resources to enrich not only the market and our customers, but the employees here who work so hard. And I abed, if you want to keep up and compete, then I'd suggest not sitting on Facebook all day or calling every business in the industry telling them not to support this part. Get started on the next product. You want to knock some of our stuff? Go ahead. You know,
You wouldn't be the first.
try us.
You can
You
search,
know,
literally search 034 Motorsport on what, eBay or whatever, and you're going to get
it's
a
all
pile
there.
of
You're going to be
knockoffs. Like,
competing with like Alibaba. You know, when you knock off our stuff. So, but you know what? Go for it. Knock yourself out. Yeah, and again, I think it's greedy not to want competition, to create some contrived scenario where only you benefit. That I don't agree with. Okay, so we added features I mentioned. So all of our oil seals, remain seals, come with an installation tool. I believe the iBed does not. There's been reports of people damaging the seals when they install the iBed. I think that's why
well, that's why there's a tool to install them.
we address the issue by providing the tool with it. On this part, the later style, we keep the factory has a RTV retention groove here. So when you put the RTV to seal, there's no gasket for this. It gives some grab to the seal in this groove. The iBed part does not have that. The problem is if you don't have this, all the RTV can essentially squeeze out. We also added back the alignment pins, which the factory part has. The iBed part does not have that. These pins are really important. They perfectly align the seal on the crankshaft. Without this, the seal can go off center, and this could also be why some customers have reported issues and failures
Yeah,
with the
you
iBed
can
part.
preload the seal one way or the other, and you're kind
It
of
has to be perfectly
forcing
centered.
it, off center.
Yeah. And we've come out with a slightly lower price, which benefits the market, benefits customers. I don't know why the iBed part is more. We could have honestly sold it for a lot cheaper. We didn't want to undercut the competition by that much, but we have priced below it because we have plenty of margin on this part. So in addition to that, we will be releasing a 270 version, which iBed does not have, and we have about 5 or 6 more applications in the queue that we're working on. So this is what when people talk about innovation, taking what's on the market, improving it, making it better, and expanding the line, that's innovation. That's what we do at 034 Motorsport. I don't know why iBed hasn't done a 270. I don't know why iBed hasn't looked at the other applications that we're working on. But he's had these two parts, and that's all he brought to market. So I think a big, Hank's post is kind of about, this is what's wrong with the industry. Well, I don't agree. I mean, I think what has made the industry great is companies competing with each other, constantly improving on parts, bringing more options to the market. I think, what is a problem with the industry is this entire post that he's made. It's unprofessional. It's disingenuous. It's clickbait, accusing us of copying when we didn't copy, accusing us of violating a patent when we didn't violate it. I mean, frankly, it's libel. It's not even true what he's saying. I think that's a bigger problem. I think for this industry to be the best it can be, companies should work professionally together. They should encourage each other to be the best they can be, and they should look at themselves and focus on making themselves better instead of raging on Facebook all day or on social media about some non-issue. 034 Motorsport is an innovator. We've innovated many products over the years. I started the company being basically the first standalone engine management system that could run 5 cylinders. Before that, it was Electromotive and SDS. Granted, you could do Motec. It was like $10,000. And so I came to market with a $1,700 fully standalone ECU that did ignition, fuel, and all ancillary functions of running an engine. We brought density motor mounts to market. Before that, there was just poly billet mounts on the market. We brought billet inserts to market, which is probably one of the most widely copied products
Yeah.
in this industry ever. We did a lot of innovation and applications around billet catch cans. Before we did it, nobody was doing billet catch cans. All of a sudden now, everyone has billet catch cans. We brought carbon fiber intakes to the market. Before that, there was
It's mostly stamped sheet metal
Carbonio and some of that stuff.
yeah, Carbonio I guess had some, but it was this
Yeah.
weird enclosed.
There was like mostly just tube on a filters on a stick on a tube type intakes. So we brought a carbon fiber intake for the TTRS, which nobody had. And all of a sudden, magically, other companies started doing it too. You probably know who they are. Innovations in tuning and calibration. Look what we've done in the B8 market. Our advanced launch control features. We've set multiple world records in the B8.
We didn't copy anyone's on that. That was I 100% designed, developed, put
completely
together
in-house.
the tool chain to do all that from start to finish.
Well, that was great. In one of these threads, one of our competitors accused us of copying their tuning, which is
Right.
ridiculous. No, we developed that ourselves.
Yeah, it was all developed in house. We haven't looked at, copied, done anything to the sort of anybody's product. It's like I've got the source code from start to finish. This is all compiled, from C source code. We're not going in and manually hacking at binaries.
Right.
We spent the time and did it right, so it's a maintainable, upgradable thing, and that's why we can add so many advanced features to these cars. Is we wrote actual software for it. We're not going in and hand flipping bits to make a function there do one thing or another. We're actually able to write very advanced, functions, math, inputs, outputs. We can do a lot of stuff.
I personally would not be okay with any of our tuning being copied from someone else. We've worked very hard to always do our own tuning and calibration, even when someone else's source code maybe fell in our lap or was accessible to us. We've specifically done it ourselves.
To be fair, to clarify that, I have never seen anybody else that even has source code around this.
Around this particular feature. I'm talking going back 10 years.
Even into the past, it's never happened.
No.
We've never.
And I wouldn't be
seen
okay
it.
with
We've
it.
never been offered anything. We've never.
I think it's wrong.
To even the point we don't, we don't go through any effort to try and do it like anybody else is doing it. We either determine the right way to do it, our way, or we don't do it.
Yeah.
There's no like half-ass stick a feature in.
We've been innovating for 15 years. I brought the first hybrid turbos to the i5 market. And in fact, Hank used to buy them from me. But I was one of the first people in the world to put a T3 T4 turbo on an i5. Before that, everyone said only the RS2 turbo will work. You can't use a T3
K27 if you want to.
Yeah, so I started buying up used K26 cores, and we started machining them out and putting T3 T4 hybrids in there. And I developed line kits and silicone inlet hoses all around making that fit. I mean, we've sold thousands of those, but I've been innovating, and we have been innovating in this industry for a very long time. In fact, before iRose Motorsport or iAbed was even a business.
Somebody brought up a good point. Do anything to hear the opinion of the engineers who designed the OEM part right now. Like, no kidding. Yeah, no, this is all derivative work.
It is. This is all copied from OEM. So calling this innovation, that's a stretch, Hank. I'm sorry. This is a cool part, but this is not innovation. This is literally copying the factory stuff.
Some guy just asked, why are you explaining yourself? It makes you look more guilty of stealing. What have we stolen? Yeah, you need to
watch the video, dude.
Look back and see.
We're not guilty.
We're
explaining in detail why we're not guilty.
Conversation has come from.
So I want to add one additional thing. I thought about whether to say this or not, but I think it's an important context. We hired an iRose Motorsport employee last fall. We hired them, arguably away from iRose Motorsport. We had a job posting. This individual applied for it. They went through the interview process. We made them an offer. It was a step up for them. It was a promotion. It was furtherment of their career. And it's a free country. Employers cannot stop people from taking other jobs. And so then you have to ask, well, why would iRose Motorsport post about iAbed? Well, it doesn't even make any sense. Well, there is an aspect of wanting revenge and a vendetta. I hate even bringing this up, but it's true. And there has been this desire to get back at us, and apparently maybe this is the opportunity. So, and then the last thing I'll say is iRose is constantly accusing us of copying their DSG catch can. Again, we've been producing catch cans for over 10 years. The DSG catch can is a vessel that catches oil coming out of the DSG transmission. Our catch cans catch oil coming out of the engine. This was the first application of a DSG needing it. iRose was first to market. We immediately started working on it as well when we saw the oil coming out of the factory breather. Ours is not a copy. It lightly resembles the overall shape is lightly resemblant, just simply
It
due
has
to
to
the
fit a
space.
space. Yeah.
And ours sits in approximately the same place as the factory one. So does the iRose. It's not a copy. It's just another option. And you know, Hank's always raging about ours, but APR has one, CTS has one, USP has one. There's probably 5 more on the market. So why are we always the focus? Well, you know, none of this started until this hiring event. Which, listen, it sucks. I've had Elon Musk, you know,
Yeah.
coach a bunch of my employees over the years, and it sucks. I get it. I didn't have to be happy about it, but I got back to work and I moved forward. So, anyways, that's probably all that needs to be said.
I
And
think that covers things.
anyway, so yeah, um, probably not going to talk about this a whole lot more, and I think we addressed all the points. So we're going to be moving forward now. We'll put this video out there, and it can speak for itself. And you know, we're going to get back to work as far as that goes. So